So we're here looking at the 2021 Sportster S. Sean from Old School Harley-Davidson is going to go over some of the features of this bike and tell us what makes this one unique compared to last year's. Just off the bat, you can see that it's totally different, totally redesigned. New engine, new frame, new everything.
Yeah, it really is. It's a completely redesigned model. This is one of the meanest bikes I think Harley's ever made. You got the new 1250 Rev Max in there. It's 120 horsepower, and let me tell you, it is all of that. This bike is fast, real fast. Not only is it fast, though, it's comfortable. They've finally put some technology in these bikes. The Sportsters needed a revamp for a long time, so now you've got suspension technology, engine technology. You've got a full TFT display here. I'll turn it on so you guys can see. So not only is it LED lighting all the way around, but you got a TFT display. There's something like 200,000 colors in here, and it's excessive. It's crazy accurate too. So you've got the ability to go to all different menu options on here. You got full control on your handlebars. If you connect, it'll tell me I need to connect to Bluetooth. But if you connect a headset, it'll show you music. If you pair it with Spotify or something like that, it'll show you song, title, and artist and all that good stuff. You can do its own diagnostics. So this will read its own codes. You can actually clear the codes out. It does a full diagnostic of the bike, so if it comes up with any codes, you can clear them out there. It'll show you, it's got TPMS sensors, so you've got front and rear tire pressure, which is pretty cool on a Sportster. That's something you usually think you only get on a tour bike.
They really loaded this thing up. Huh?
Absolutely.
Heated grips.
It does have a 3-stage heated grip as well. That button's right here on the handlebar. A lot like the Pan America as far as the controls, so anybody that's seen the Pan America, the controls will look really similar to that.
Is this something they're going to start doing on all the bikes? Probably.
That's kind of what we think the direction they're going to. I mean, there's a ton of technology packed in this bike. They kept everything sleek and user friendly as far as where you can reach everything. You've got everything you could need on the gauges. You can do ride customization. You can customize those gauges like you can on the big tour bikes.
Is that for like traction control too?
There's actually a 3-mode traction control on this, like the tour bikes, but set up for this bike has a lot more power, so it is set up for that. You can turn it off the same as you could on the RDRS on the tour bikes and the Pan America, as well as on this bike. You'll notice too, you've got up here at the top, the little S here, that shows that it's in sport mode. We've actually got 4 different ride modes. So you got, this is a custom ride mode, which you can actually set your suspension up, you can set your throttle response, your traction control, your ABS, you can dial in all that stuff. Your next mode is going to be, that would be like your B customization, so you can have multiple different custom modes. Then you got the little rain cloud, that's a rain mode, so that's going to take the power level of the bike down.
Take everything out of it.
Your throttle response is going to be a little bit less, just to make it a little easier to ride in the slick conditions. Then you got regular road modes, kind of like standard, so it's going to ride, it's going to cruise the smoothest, it's going to be kind of a flat curve and everything, and then your last mode is that sport mode, and that is
everything up.
That is everything turned full up, and you better hold on, because
that's the only one I want.
It is definitely all of 120 horse, and it is a very small, very lightweight bike. There's a ton of aluminum on this bike. Much like they did on the Pan America, they're using the engine as part of the frame, so that's kept the weight on this bike to an absolute minimum. I did have the opportunity to ride this bike, and it is every bit of everything they said it would be. The handling is incredible, even with that big front tire. Been a lot of people talking about how they thought it was going to be kind of sluggish in the corners and push. It really is. It feels as lightweight as it is. The lighting is phenomenal.
So is it all LED from the factory?
It is, yep. Front and rear, turn signals, headlight, tail light. You've got kind of a forward control, but it's not the forward control that everybody was used to. You're really not stretched out. Even I'll sit on it so you can see. I'm 5'10". I can flat foot on this bike, and if I put my foot up, you'll see I still got a pretty good bend in my knee. So it's an upright position, but it's comfortable, but you're in the same position you'd want to be in for kind of sporty riding as well. So it's an impressive.
It's pretty comfortable compared to the older Sportster design.
Absolutely. I mean, they put a gel core seat, much like they did with the Fat Bob. They had that gel core, kind of a gripper pattern too. So that was another concern I heard was a bike with this much power, how are you supposed to stay planted in the seat if there's no lumbar support? It's got a gripper material on it,
Yep.
so it does hold you right in place. You twist the throttle, you don't want to be sliding off on the little back fender. So
Exactly.
brand new swing arm design. You'll see how long that swing arm is on for a Sportster. That seems excessive, but that goes to the handling, that sporty feel in the corners, the stability of the bike. Those big front and rear tires is also going to give you a lot of stability over bumpy roads. It's going to smooth it right out. And I think one of the most notable things that I have learned about this bike, I think is one of the most impressive things they've done, this bike has more suspension adjustment than any Harley-Davidson model ever. You got inverted front forks, and you have both compression and rebound adjustment in your front forks. You have the same in your rear shock, as well as a preload adjustment of almost infinite adjustment in the rear. And it really makes it so that any size rider can really set up the suspension on this bike to work for them. Heavier riders, shorter, taller riders, you can really dial in the suspension to exactly where you want it to be.
Yeah. No, they definitely outdid themselves on this one. It's better than I thought it would be from the teaser images. And I gotta get behind the bars on this one.
It's really one you have to see in person. I mean, everybody's seen the pictures of it at this point, and to stand here and see all the dimensions of the bike and really that muscular stance that you can see in the pictures almost don't do it any justice.
No, because looking at it right now, if you didn't tell me this was a Sportster, I would think it's right in the cruiser lineup, right in the middle. It doesn't look like the entry-level bike anymore.
Absolutely. So another thing I'll touch on too real quick is another huge question I've gotten since I had a chance to ride. A lot of people ask about this high-sided exhaust, this kind of tracker-style exhaust. When you sit on the bike, obviously the exhaust is going to rest just about right on the inside of your leg. So everyone's like, well, that's going to get super hot. I'm going to end up with feeling the heat underneath my legs. I was unbelievably impressed with the fact that this cover right here does not get even remotely warm.
Wow.
There's a triple layer metal shield underneath this that's spaced from that soaks up all the heat. This is polymer. So this, even with your leg or your hand right against this, you could ride this bike for an hour and you could put your hand right on this and it's not even warm. I mean,
That's impressive.
That's something, as soon as I sat on it and realized that the exhaust was kind of right against the inside of my leg, I thought, well, it's going to heat up and that's not going to feel good. But you really don't feel any of the heat from the motor. This doesn't get hot at all, so it's something that they really thought through the design of even doing a high-sided exhaust like that. They had to do something that was going to make it at least comfortable to ride, and they did.
It's definitely impressive. Definitely gonna have to ride one. Feel this power. I was impressed by the Pan America, so I'm sure I'll be impressed by this.
Yeah.
Where do you want to ride one?
What was that?
Where do you want to ride one?
On the road.
From old school Harley-Davidson?
Right here in old school, of course.
Absolutely.
So this is the only one that, as of right now, that we know of that we're getting. It's very limited production right now. This is a 21 model year. We do know it's a brand new model. They will continue it into 22, but we don't know any of the details of colors or availability right now of the 22. So if this is something you've been waiting for and it's something that you really wanted to get on, get down here now and
This one is
make
for
this one
sale?
yours. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you heard the man. Come on down to Old School.
Thanks for watching. We're excited to get a chance to take a look at this bike. Hopefully if they get another one in, might get a chance to take it for a ride. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Our next video up, they actually invited us down for an interview after our Sturgis trip, and Old School actually put out the video, so we're really excited about that. You guys are gonna see that soon. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe below.